have the Lil Tim, King Von, the guy who was charged with the murder of King Von. Well, he isn't charged for the murder of King Von. With news just came out that he would not be, the charges were dropped for the murder, so he would not be looking at any time for that murder of King Von. So I just thought that was some interesting news to put out there, because we was all kind of speculating like whether or not. So they may have gave him like a self-defense charge,
Right.
from what I'm assuming, because like I said, they didn't charge him for the murder. He may have got a self-defense, because there was not only him, but there were other people that were shooting at that time, as well as along with police that night, and there were a couple people who actually died. So I don't know, man. Like I said, I don't necessarily wish death, or I always say this, death or jail on no black man, as long as you're not a weirdo or nothing. But so I'm not gonna say I'm disappointed in this news. If you have to defend yourself, you have to defend yourself.
If he did it, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed if he did it.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say, because that's what I was just about to say. I wouldn't necessarily say he. I mean, if he did it in a malicious way, but from the information that was given, was that basically King Von heard that Quando Rondo was there, and he hopped out of his car and initiated that situation. So I feel like even I believe King Yella spoke on this and said the same thing. Like, I feel like anybody would have did that. Like, the tables could have been turned, and it could have been Lil Tim or somebody, or Quando Rondo, who got shot and killed. And then will people be reacting the same? Will people have cared as much? And on top of that, if one of those individuals passed during that situation, knowing that King Von initiated that whole altercation, then it's kind of like, how do you necessarily blame Lil Tim for doing what he's basically there to do, which is protect the bag, secure the bag? So if I feel like if Lil Tim ran up on, or I'm sorry, if Quando Rondo ran up on King Von, and King Von was just minding his business, and whoever he was with, they probably would have draw down on them, and it could have been, like I said, the tables could have been turned. So I just feel like if it was a self-defense thing, I definitely I feel like if you can solve it by just go just throwing hands, then do that. So I definitely don't feel like there was a need for any guns to be pulled out. But I don't, like I said, I don't know the situation, the entirety of the situation, to know if he pulled a gun out because someone else pulled a gun out. And you know what I mean? Like, is that why it escalated like that?
Right.
So I don't necessarily know. So I just thought that was interesting news, that, like I said, that he's not going to be charged for that. And that was like a super huge case at the time. So I'm just curious to see how people like Lil Durk and other King Von supporters are gonna take to this information. Hopefully it doesn't backfire on Lil Tim, to where it's just, because we definitely don't want to see more bloodshed. We don't want to see anything happen to him. We don't want to see anything happen to any more young black men, over, especially when these young men who've made it in the industry, where they should be leaving this type of activity behind them. We don't want to see them revert back to this and lose their life over it. King Von, I think, was definitely an example of exactly what I'm talking about. Although he's all the information that came out about the different people that he may or may not have taken out.
He took him out.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So I just think people just need to just put things into perspective on who these people are and the actions that they take, and understand that we all have to be responsible for the actions we take. And Lil Tim was, he went down for a little bit after that altercation. He was let go, and information came out that he won't be charged for it. So like I said, he shouldn't go around running up on people, punching on people, and over something that's not, because and of course we all know majority of these altercations happen over, majority of the time, a woman, and that's what this was all about, and that's what it stemmed from. So it's like you guys both made it. King Von had no business getting out of that car and starting that altercation, and unfortunately, it cost him his life as well as 2 others. So,
right. So listen, my question is this: did they not have? They didn't have enough evidence to charge him or something? Is that what the?
I don't know.
You know how like the streets,
yeah.
You know how the streets might know something, but on the streets know it, but there ain't enough level on a legal level to convict them. Is that kind of what played out?
Well, yeah, the information is pretty fresh, so I'm trying to do a little bit more research to find out. Doing my little Reese, I'm trying to, I got to do my research.
Because I felt that when you said that, bro. I felt that when you was like, you don't like to see black men be charged and you go to jail, like nigga, 100%, nigga. Like I'm with that. But if you a murderer, my nigga,
yeah, exactly.
I'm not gonna let your skin color dictate.
You know what I mean? So that's why I say like people need to pay attention to people's character, because if we're talking about murderers and who was a murderer, cold-blooded murderer, King Von's history shows that he was the murderer. And so in that instance, if he's supposed to be known for what he's supposed to be known for, then can you really blame somebody for feeling whether they be afraid or whatever, like they got to defend themselves, feeling that much afraid that they have to pull out a gun and shoot this dude? If that's what they have to do, then it's more than likely a self-defense case. If this guy has a prior history of murdering people. Yeah. Of course, a lot of this information didn't come out till afterwards, but like I said, this is he showed what kind of person he was by hopping out of the car and starting that altercation when Quando Rondo was minding his own business and thinking that it was just going to be okay. So
yeah, I agree. Self-defense. If it's self-defense, then I'm always in favor of a self-defense case, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Because if you press me, and I feel my life is in danger, I'm gonna light your ass up too. So, so I gotta feel that, man, for sure.